Welcome back to Gardening Little by Little. My name is Janet, and if you're new here, welcome. I garden in Florida Zone 9B, where it's really hot and really humid. Today, I wanted to show you what I can realistically get done in my Florida garden in under 2 hours before the heat becomes too intense. This wasn't a big makeover day, just a productive morning of garden maintenance, planting and tidying up, little by little. I always start by walking through the garden and checking what needs attention. Some areas needed weeding, a few plants had finished blooming, and there were a couple of spots that needed a fresh look. Taking a few minutes to observe the garden before I start working helps me decide where to focus my time in. The first project today was making a container. I had several individual growing plants separately, so I combined them into one large arrangement to create a fuller, more colorful display. Sometimes the best garden updates come from rearranging plants you already have instead of buying something new. So before the sun comes out and it gets too hot out here, I'm gonna plant a planter, which I found this galvanized container in my patio as a little plant stand. So I took it from the other plant that was sitting on this, and I was using the bottom of this galvanized container as a plant stand as well. So I decided to put them both together again and create a little planter for my patio to enjoy. So what I'm going to be planting in my containers is going to be this monstera that's been sitting out here on the sun. So I'm going to bring it back to the patio and cut the scorched foliage off. I have a caladium here, and then I also have a string of hearts. And the string of hearts looks a little leggy, so maybe in a planter will look much better than having it individual on its own, as you can see trailing down there. So my goal for today is to create a beautiful container with the plants that I already have and put them all together so they could look much more presentable and enjoyable, and a cute little art display that we could enjoy instead of having them individually in pots. I could show you here my other containers that I put together, like this beautiful monstera. I created a planter here with holiday cactus here. As you can see, the new growth here, so pretty. And then I put some caladiums, a Florida ghost plant here. She looks beautiful, philodendron, and a beautiful spider plant. And you guys, I had these plants all in single individual containers in my patio, and I just decided to put them all together to create this beautiful display, as you can see here. You know, sometimes we just gotta get out of our comfort zone and create something beautiful to enjoy. So now we have this beautiful display container in the patio. And as you can see, I created another one here with different plants like a peace lily, a fern, a philodendron, this beautiful foliage one, I don't know the name, a pink polka dot. So I created this little container to enjoy in the patio instead of having them individualized in containers. Maybe just put them all together, like this one here too. Here's my alocasia plant with calathea and a fern. And you see the new growth there. I'm creating containers that will look much better all together than having them individualized. So maybe you could create something with your plants. Put one focal point and some bottom fillers, and it's gonna create this beautiful container in your patio. All right, let's go back to planting this one. All right, so you probably won't see my head here, but that's okay. I put a quarter of mulch in the container, And then I'm gonna top it off with some soil here. And what I'm gonna do as well is give this plants a good start. So I'm gonna give them a little fertilizer. So since this monstera is gonna be the focal point, I'm gonna go ahead and cut these off. You can do that as well, they're just aerial roots. And then I'm gonna cut the sunburned foliage off so that way we could get a good start and be able to enjoy this beautiful container. I wanna show you the bulbs here. Look at the bulbs of this plant. Ain't that cool? So these are the bulbs that hold the water for the purple hearts. And you take one bulb off and then you just make yourself a new plant here. So I'm gonna actually collect that one and put it in a container so I could create more plants. So I'm putting the extra ones in a container here. As you can see, I'm getting free plants, but just dividing one. And then I'm gonna cover these ones with the soil here. Trying to keep them all nice and straight. Oh, there she goes. All right, so I have the little bulb grass here. And then I have a propagation of the hearts of hearts succulent here, vine. Doesn't she look pretty? I think all these plants are gonna thrive together, you guys. They're gonna thrive together, look beautiful together, and I can't wait for this pot to fill up with beautiful blooms and foliage from the grass texture there. And then this beautiful hearts of hearts succulent. I'm pretty sure she needed to get some fertilizer and some fresh soil. So here she is, hearts of hearts. I'm gonna display her very pretty when she gets on my porch. But I think these plants are gonna be so happy in their new spot and hopefully create this beautiful display here. I hope you guys enjoy this beautiful planter. Next, I remove a pepper plant who had sadly declined in one of the garden beds.
When I inspected it more closely, I found signs of both fungus and fire ants around the plant. So I decided it was healthier for the bed to remove it and move on rather than keep a struggling plant in place. I mean, it did not look very pretty as well. I had to take action, and later in that evening, I added some repellent for the fire ants. Hopefully, it will help deter them away.
These ones here look dead too, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut them down. Oh my god, these ones smell like licorice. Wow. They smell nice. Hopefully cutting back the dead will help the plants get new blooms. I'm hoping. This is the first time I cut these. Oh, I wonder if I could collect seeds. I wonder how the seeds look like here. So like stuff like this, I want to get out of the beds here. There's a pile over there until I go get my bag. I don't know, my daisies here died.
I also decided it was time to remove a Fothergilla that simply wasn't happy in this location. Maybe it does better in lower zones than here. The summer sun had scorched the foliage, and it was clear this spot wasn't the right fit for it. In this place, I planted a sorrel hibiscus that I grew from seed. It's still very small right now, only about 6 to 8 inches tall, but I'm excited to watch it grow and eventually fill this area with beautiful foliage and flowers.
So to replace the plant that I just moved and I'm gonna throw away, I'm gonna put the hibiscus that I grew from seed, and I'm gonna put them here because the hibiscus do very good in the sunny locations here in Florida. So at least I have something else to plant in here to fill up the gap. I added some fertilizer, and I'm gonna do this quick because you guys are sitting right on the sun, and I don't want the camera to die. I'm gonna plant this hibiscus that are doing so well here. It's already getting a little brown bark here, which is so cool. There we go. Some hibiscus to planting here. weed out the area as we go. That always helps the garden here. So as you can see here, before the camera gets too hot, I planted 2 of the hibiscus to replace this plant that is not doing well in this area. I planted this hibiscus 2 weeks ago here, and she's doing really good. She likes the really hot heat here that we get, so that's good. So I planted the other 2 in here, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 sorrel hibiscus. We'll see how big they get at the end of this growing season, because this is the first time I'm planting them. So they have this whole space here in the garden beds to grow and fill up and look beautiful. So they don't have to worry about spacing here. I have some caladiums that came from me from last year, so that's good. I have another beautiful hibiscus here that it was getting shrouded here. It was getting shrouded here by the plants. So I moved her here after I moved the foxglove that I had here. So now she's thriving, and she's actually, you see the foliage there? It was hard to grab with these gloves. It's a variegated hibiscus. So I can't wait for her to get a little bigger. She probably won't bloom because she's very tiny, so. But yes, I guess this is my little hibiscus caladium tropical area here, with some coreopsis there looking so happy. And then we just cut the dead of the agastache here. Little by little, we're cleaning up some spots in the garden area here. Look at this guy. Remember last time I showed you, she was like this small, and now she's growing. She's getting tall. So hopefully she gets a little more tall so she could cover this post, just like the Mexican petunia there. Look how tall she is now. All right, the neighbor's mowing the grass. I'm gonna clean up my mess here and see what else I need to clean up before I start mowing the grass before it gets too hot here in Florida. It's like 10 o'clock and whew, I'm already a sweaty mess. And then my poblano here, she died. I think it's fungus issue. And then I deal with a lot of fire ants. I've noticed that they've been actually killing my plants. Can you believe that? I'm so sad they have been killing my plants. So I think that's, if I don't know if you could see it. Hopefully you could see it through there. But I see some fungal issue, and I see a lot of red fiery ants there. So I just had to cut the plants back because it's not water issue, because the plants look okay. So another name for this poblano after it dries up is called ancho chili. And we use this in a lot of Mexican cuisines. Maybe I could try this one, and yeah, maybe we could dry them up and make little ancho dried chilies here. But I'm not gonna throw them away. I'm gonna throw away the the branches and everything else, but I'm gonna save the chilies. And if we don't eat them like this, then we'll just dry them up. Okay, I'm gonna go clean up the mess. All right, you guys, so I decided to move this Mexican petunia from this area. Even though the purple and the pink look so beautiful here, it attracts a lot of pollinators and butterflies. But I want to move it from here because I want to clean this area out. Because it's my little jumbo mess here, and I just want to make it look pretty. So I want to move the Mexican petunia to the front. Keep it in the pot for now. Hold on, I have an ant. Oh, I don't know where it went. I'm gonna move the grasses with the Mexican petunia as well. So we could clear this area out because I want to plant this quick fire hydrangea in this area. I'm not going to plant it today, but I eventually want to plant this hydrangea in the ground because right now it's just sitting inside this box. And for it to be better and happier, I think it'll be nicer if she's in the ground, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this pots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna move this pots from here. It'll be easier to mow the grass. Oh my goodness, look. It attracts a lot of bumbles, this Mexican petunias. It could be a very invasive plant if it's not in control. So that is why I have it in a pot here, because it was just shooting rhizomes everywhere in the ground. So I put in a pot. But I'm gonna keep it in a pot in the front too, because like I said, I don't want it to go too wild, even though it could actually root itself in the ground and then go from there. But like I said, I'm gonna keep it in check. But I'm gonna move it so we can make this area nice and neater and easier to mow as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and move the weeds. These ones have a lot of weeds in them. Okay, so I'm gonna go get the wagon. Oh, it has a beautiful butterfly. All right, let's see if this plant is rooted in the ground. If not, I'm gonna ask my kid to help me. Oh, okay, she was sitting on the paver. All right. Oh my goodness, of course, fire ants again. I needed my kid to help me pick it up because it was just too heavy for me. Now I don't want to break my back. All right, so I'm gonna move all this containers to the front, so we should clear this area, make it look a little neater.
Sometimes a simple move can completely change the look of a space and help plant fit better with its surroundings.
Because it's too lengthy here. But you could also, to propagate this Mexican petunias, you could also put them in a cup of water. Am I gonna do that? No. No, no. I have so many Mexican petunias, but if you want me to share with you, here we go. Anyways, it's very easy to propagate petunias too. All right, you guys, so we're in the front right now, but we were able to put her up here against the fence panel. So I put the Mexican petunia here so she could give me a nice pop color here, some height as well, and just look very pretty here. I put the grasses in on this side for now because I want to see if I can incorporate them here in this island. As you can see, I have some mulch bags because I really want to get to work on this area of the bed, but it's been so hot here in the front that it's just so hard to come and work in this bed. I wanted to put the Mexican petunia here so she could cover that empty panel that was there. I had some little grasses growing in there, but they died back. So yeah, this is where I moved the Mexican petunia. So now we're gonna go work over there and mowing the grass and getting the yard nice and clean for the week. When I'm mowing the grass here, I like to wear a different hat. So I like to wear this hat because it feels like it protects me, my neck, my ears, and my face when I'm mowing the grass because I'm over there by the really hot area in the garden. So I like to be protected from the harsh, harsh sun.
With the planting projects finished, it was time for the weekly maintenance. I mowed the lawn, then used the weed whacker around the fence lines, garden beds, and other areas where the grass grows a little too quickly and the mower cannot fit. These are the tasks that keep the garden looking cared for from week to week.
I was trying to say mowing the grass is such a workout. It's a job I don't like doing. It has to get done or else the grass will just grow so crazy here.
Once the mowing and trimming were done, I blew the grass clippings off the pavers and walkways so everything looked clean and tidy. It's a small detail, but it really makes the whole garden feel finished. Before heading inside, I watered the new plantings and several of the containers to help them settle in after the morning's work. By this point, the temperature was already climbing, and I could definitely feel the Florida heat starting to take over. This time it was like around 11:30ish. What I love about mornings like this is that they remind me that a garden doesn't have to be perfect and it doesn't have to be completed all at once. In less than 2 hours, I was able to plant, transplant, remove struggling plants, mow, trim, clean up, and water everything before the heat became too much. Those small efforts add up over time, and that's exactly what gardening little by little is all about. Thank you for spending the morning with me in the garden. I hope this video encourages you to tackle one small task in your own garden today. Little by little, it all comes together. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.